Right guys, Hayzink here, welcome back. So in this one we're going to be taking a look at the new Juri, so Baddest Juri. I mean, what is it to say? She looks like a really good unit. Here's a little intro. You will have seen this if you've done your trial, because you will have pulled her already. You get a free copy obviously from going through there, and clearly they are trying to lean into the whole Juri fetish that people seem to have. But we're going to go in and we're going to look at her kit in her trial, because it's a little bit easier to look at her kit in there because of things like cars, etc. Right? So in fact, can we do that here? Oh no, we can just do it here. Right, we'll do it here. Easier, we'll do it here. Right, so first off, I'm going to look at her fighting spirit. Right, the reason I'm doing that is because her fighting spirit really bleeds into a lot of her additional kit. Right, so let's look at her fighting spirit. After backflipping when the passive skill is triggered, recover 12% max HP, so she's going to be healing herself a little bit, right? Unlocked at +5, in the assist position. Takes effect when the fighter is in the assist position. After assisted fighter enters the battle for the first time, increase their trigger skill damage by 25% until the end of battle. So you would only really put her onto a unit like, say, Monster Hunter Ken. I find that, well, I mean, if she was on Monster Hunter Ken, that would maybe be pretty good, because obviously, you know, his damage being boosted by 25% would really give him a lift, and he has dropped off a little bit. I just don't know if that would be enough for me to run him over running her, and we'll get to that as we kind of go. Now I realise if I sit in this position, I'm going to be blocking this, so we'll move over to here. Unlocked at level 10, right? After backflipping, when the passive skill is triggered, increase this fighter's trigger skill damage by 25% for 12 seconds. So she's got 2 trigger skills, they'll be boosted by 25%. After this fighter unleashes a super combo, increase their attack by 15% for 8 seconds. While this buff is active, if this fighter unleashes combo 3, increase their super combo damage by 30% for 12 seconds. So you can see she really benefits from using her super, right? So she is a unit that she's going to take up that super slot to do her most impactful damage, right? Unlocked at 30, after this fighter unleashes a super combo, increase their crit damage by a percentage equal to 80% of their current crit rate for 10 seconds. So again, she's really going to benefit from using her super attack, right? This is why we looked at this first, because this then bleeds into the rest of her kit, right? So let's look at what she does. I think we should start off by looking at her passive, okay? Her passive. When hit by a combo or super combo, backflip to avoid taking damage, gaining damage immunity for the duration. Upon landing, gain 30% damage reduction for 5 seconds. This is considered a trigger skill. Trigger interval 12 seconds. Upon entering the battle, increase this fighter's trigger skill damage by 20%. So it looks like she's actually got like a double passive, because you can see here she's got a trigger skill passive at the top, and then she's got another passive that says upon entering the battle. So that's like 2 different parts of her trigger, of her passive. Increase this fighter's trigger skill damage by 20% upon unleashing a trigger skill. Increase trigger skill damage by an additional 10%, stacking up to 5 times. So as she goes in a battle, she's going to be gaining a lot more damage. So she's going to do well, especially against bosses and stuff like that. She is going to actually do well, right? And she's going to do well against stages. She's an all-rounder, right? She's another one of these characters that's just going to work on everything, right? But she's going to ramp up. Upon entering the battle, increase this fighter's trigger skill damage by 25%. Upon landing, the backflip, gain 45% damage reduction for 5 seconds. Upon unleashing a trigger skill, increase trigger skill damage by an additional 15%, stacking up to 5 times. Her passive just all bleeds into itself. She's very solid, right? She's got a very, very solid passive. Now, as we've seen from her fighting spirit, she's seriously going to benefit from using her own super, right? So that immediately means that she's not going to be good to run with the likes of Gen, right? She's slightly unfortunate. I hoped that she was going to be a unit that would work with Gen, and because of like timing and stuff like that, she might also not work very well with Poison, right? And the reason I say that is because Poison's whole gimmick is about quickly running through the combo chain so that you can stack her C1. Now, because you've got to go from her basically using the super combo to using it again. Her combo animation for her trigger C3 might take too long, but what we'll do is we'll go into the trial in a minute just to see if, well, in fact, you know what, I could maybe, we'll do it in the trial. We'll go to the trial and we'll see if she can quickly cycle, right? I don't know if she can quickly cycle. We can maybe even check it on the current boss. She's not going to be strong enough to do anything. All we want to see is, can she cycle fast enough to have the stacks, right? So let's see what she does. Super combo. Smash the nearest target multiple times, dealing damage equal to 729% of attack. Also increase this fighter's crit rate by 15% for 10 seconds. Increase this fighter's crit rate by 25% for 10 seconds. Now remember, she's actually got, is her fighting spirit 30. You're going to get additional crit damage based on how much crit you've got. So that's going to feed into that as well, right? She's going to do a lot of crit damage because of this. This is a trigger skill. You're going to have it no matter what. Unleashes automatically when any... forget that part. Unleash 4 strikes, dealing damage equal to 313% of attack to enemies in an area. Also increase the combo 2 damage of all friendly fighters by 15% for 5 seconds. So I mentioned this in her trial video. If you've got someone like Akuma who has a high damage C2, she's going to be boosting that. It's going to make a big impact. And you can see here that actually gets boosted all the way up to 30%. So additional 30% on someone like Akuma, that could be a lot, right? Especially if she does work with poison, which we will check. That would mean that you could be doing a lot of damage with a team like that. Problem being, it's going to be very short burst damage because you've not really got anything on your team that's going to give you like shielding. Obviously, with her being a trigger unit, you can't run someone like Trendy Elena because you'll know you can't really put 2 trigger units on the same team, right? Her C3, again, another trigger, right? Quickly move behind the enemy's rearmost fighter. If you're fighting a boss, that obviously doesn't matter. And again, because of the fact that she moves behind the rearmost fighter, she's got the same quirk to her that Akuma's got, meaning that she's probably going to do best against single bosses. So bosses that are on their own is who she's going to shine with. But again, that means that you can pair her up with Akuma doing that C2, which is all good. Hopefully this boss that's running just now is a single boss, and then we can actually try and attempt to at least see a basic kind of look at what this will be like. But anyway, she'll go behind that rearmost fighter and deal 531% of attack to all enemies in an area around the target. Also increase this fighter's super combo damage by 18% until the end of the next super combo. So again, she's really benefiting from starting and like doing all of the combos. So doing the C1, or sorry, doing the super, you want her doing the super. So you cannot really run her with the likes of Gen, who is going to boost that attack for the rest of your team, because you're going to miss out on so much by her not doing the super attack. So increases damage. After unleashing, increase this fighter's super combo by 30%, increase it by 36%. Again, you just want to be doing that, right? So our cars basically add true damage, right? Every strike from this fighter's super combo deals an additional true damage equal to 60% of attack. Every strike from this from her trigger skills deal an additional true damage equal to 60% of attack. That's a lot, right? That's a big deal. You want her built with cars, right? So what does her soul do? Increase the combo 2 damage by 30%, and this one, after unleashing, increase her super combo damage by 36%. So you want cars, you want soul power, you want everything. She's going to take investment, but easily, she is the best damaging trigger unit in the game. She's going to work against bosses, single unit bosses, she's going to work against teams. She's a solid unit all round. Let's go and quickly see with the one copy, remember one copy is all we're talking here, with the one copy that we have, can you use her with someone like Street Poison who stacks, but you've got such a short window that I don't know. We need to test it to see, right? Right, okay, this is just a flung together hodgepodge team because I actually do not know if this is a single boss or not. I've not actually clicked next yet at any point. I don't know if Chun's got someone with her. If she has, it's going to really impact the kind of damage that you could do here. Now, she's got nothing done to her. Absolutely nothing. I've literally just stuck some gear on her, right? We'll just see, right? That's it. That's all I've put on her, right? All I really want to do here is see, can she cycle fast enough that you could build stacks using someone like Poison, right? Because again, she might be busy with her trigger C3, stopping her basically cycling fast enough to have those 5 trigger stacks, sorry, that 5-second attack built up, right? So we'll go and we'll test it now. Hopefully Chun's on her own. No, do I need to do all of this? I need to build all these teams. Oh, Jesus Christ, right, give me 2 seconds. Right, just for the purposes of doing this, I've just flung 1 unit on each one. Should let me do it now, right? We'll see. Hopefully Chun's on her own. She's not on her own, fantastic, right? So we won't see kind of damage numbers that you could get potentially from her here because both herself and Akuma are going to be going for that back unit more often than not, right? But again, all we want to see here is, can I whip through this fast enough that we could, against the right boss, build up stacks with Poison, meaning the amount of damage that you'd be able to get off a team like this would probably be insane, right? So we'll put this to 1 speed. Let's see, can we do this? Let's go. Oh, I think we can. I think we can. It looks like she's actually whipping through this pretty quickly, yet you can definitely build up stacks. Right, I'm not expecting any numbers here, by the way. I've got no battle lust at all put into this team. Not one piece of battle lust. So do not expect anything special from these numbers. Again, the team is built around basically hitting the unit at the back, which would work if we had a solo unit, right? But we don't have a solo unit, we just have like 2 units here. So both Juri and Akuma are going to target the back unit more often than not. So again, all I was trying to do there was see, could we cycle through fast enough that we could use a buffer and see one who's got like some kind of stacking effect. You obviously see there that she does, she whips through it fast enough. So if you wanted to use someone like Poison, who you might be putting on your other team with your Flame Aid on, you can do that. I really need to get this unit now built because I want to see how good she could be against bosses. Honestly, against a single boss, I already know she's going to be fantastic because she's got true damage, she's boosting the C2 unit, and because she only really works against single bosses, that means that you can put a C2 unit in like Akuma who works against single unit bosses. So because of the type of team comp that she would be on, she's going to be fantastic. She would just have that limitation that she's going to be fantastic against bosses who do not have someone with them like this boss has currently. I mean, if I have, I don't think it will be available. I don't, it might be. It's not. If Magala Shadowland was available, I would have popped it to kind of, I mean, we can maybe get away with it here. Maybe. I don't think it'll be very effective, but it'll give us an indication, maybe. It's worth a try. So we'll throw it together, right? I don't, no I can't because I'd need to actually put investment in here. When we've got a single boss unit, we'll be able to see. I still wouldn't summon for her right now. Again, the only reason I wouldn't summon right now is because we should be able to see next month what we're getting. I mean, I just don't want to say to you guys save because next month is the Turtles, because some people still doubt that we're going to get the Turtles. Some people obviously think that I'm a good enough designer and coder that I can go into the game and actually make footage of the Turtles. Have you guys seen my thumbnails? I think you know that I do not have the skills to go in and design the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles in Street Fighter. That ain't happening. They're supposed to be coming next month. I would just wait, but it's up to you. It's entirely up to you. She's not limited. She's going to be here next month, so if they're not good, then you can go for her. That's what I'm going to do. But it's entirely up to you. I do think if you go for her though, you're not going to be disappointed. She completely displaces Ken as the best trigger unit in the game. The only caveat I would say to that is Ken is an AoE trigger unit. Juri isn't quite, even though she does have an AoE, she's more of a single target trigger unit. Some people may have a preference there. But yeah, she's fantastic. When we get a single target boss, I think even potentially at A, we might be able to do some work with her to kind of see what she can do, but clearly, you can see from her kit, clearly she benefits greatly from having Fighting Spirit 30 and from having her cars, hands down. So she's really a unit you want to build, but yeah, Juri is looking very good, very solid. Anyway guys, I've been Hayzink, thanks for watching, catch you in the next video, peace.